Imagine spending more than £1 billion signing some of the most exciting young footballers in the world, only to realize that something was still missing. Not talent, not money, not ambition, experience. For years, Chelsea believed that buying the future was enough to dominate English football. But after seasons filled with inconsistency, injuries, managerial changes, and disappointing league finishes, it now appears the club is preparing for a completely different approach. Recent reports linking Chelsea with experienced Premier League veterans such as Jordan Henderson and Danny Welbeck may not simply be transfer rumors. They could be the first signs of an entirely new philosophy. Because Chelsea might have finally learned the biggest lesson modern football can teach. You don't win titles with talent alone. You win them with balance. The billion-pound experiment. When Clearlake Capital and Todd Boehly took control of Chelsea, they didn't just buy a football club. They bought an idea that football's future belonged to young players. The strategy looked revolutionary. Sign elite talents before everyone else. Offer long-term contracts. Develop them together. Create a dynasty. Chelsea invested heavily in players like Enzo Fernandez, Moises Caicedo, Wesley Fofana, Romeo Lavia, Mykhailo Mudryk, Cole Palmer, and many more. The average age of the squad dropped dramatically. On paper, it looked like the future belonged to Chelsea, but football isn't played on paper. What went wrong? Youth brings energy, creativity, speed, fearlessness, but it also brings inconsistency. Young players don't always know how to control difficult matches. They haven't experienced title races. They haven't played under relentless pressure every single week. When things became difficult, Chelsea often lacked leaders, players who could slow the game down, calm the dressing room, demand higher standards, and guide younger teammates through difficult moments. Talent was never Chelsea's biggest problem. Leadership was. Look at the champions. Now compare Chelsea with the Premier League's biggest title contenders. Manchester City didn't only have Erling Haaland, they had experienced leaders throughout the squad. Liverpool's success wasn't built only on Mohamed Salah. It was also built on leaders like Virgil van Dijk and previously Jordan Henderson. Arsenal's young stars developed faster because experienced players created the right environment. Even Real Madrid have shown this formula for years. Young stars like Jude Bellingham, Vinicius Jr., and Eduardo Camavinga flourished because veterans set the standards every day. Great teams aren't built with one generation. They're built with multiple generations working together. Why Henderson and Welbeck make sense. This is where Chelsea's recent transfer rumors become interesting. Jordan Henderson may no longer be in his prime. Danny Welbeck may never win another Golden Boot. But perhaps Chelsea aren't signing them for goals or assists. They're signing them for something much harder to buy. Leadership, professionalism, communication, winning habits. Sometimes, the most valuable player isn't the one scoring goals. It's the one making everyone around him better. That's something statistics can never fully measure. Chelsea's new identity. If these reports are true, Chelsea's transfer strategy is no longer about collecting wonder kids. It's about creating balance. Young players still represent the future, but experienced players provide stability. This could be the beginning of Chelsea's second rebuild. Not one based solely on potential, but one based on experience, character, and leadership. That might be the missing ingredient the club has been searching for all along. Whether Jordan Henderson and Danny Welbeck eventually join Chelsea or not, the bigger story isn't about two players. It's about a football club evolving, recognizing that spending money doesn't automatically build a winning team, recognizing that leadership matters, that experience matters, that dressing room culture matters. Perhaps Chelsea's billion-pound project isn't failing. Perhaps. It's finally growing up. Now, we'd love to hear your opinion. Has Chelsea finally learned its lesson? Or do you think signing experienced veterans would be a step backwards? Let us know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this analysis, don't forget to leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications for more in-depth football stories every week.